A new iPhone means new iPhone cases. Let's check these out. Dave Taylor here, and I got a new iPhone 13 Pro. Such a nice phone. I really like it, except that camera protrudes out the back pretty far. That plus the price adds up to this, meaning that you gotta have a case for it. You've gotta have a protective case for a device this expensive. So I've looked at a lot of different cases. I have a lot of cases for this phone, but they all tend to be clear or light blue or black or whatever, and they're all kind of boring. So instead, I thought, let's look at some bold patterns. And that's what I have here, is I have 4 cases from 4 different manufacturers, all of which are highly protective and all of which have cool graphics. Now, part of what I want to look at is I want to look at whether they work with wireless charging and specifically whether they work with MagSafe. So MagSafe, you have to get the specific Apple MagSafe charger. It's the best way to do it. But there's a magnetic coil on the back of iPhone 12 and iPhone 13s, which means that you can do things like that. And most importantly, by having it perfectly positioned, it charges super fast. This MagSafe charger on the 13 is crazy fast, but I don't want to have to take my phone out of the case every time. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. Now, we're going to start with this. This is the SkinIt Impact case. It's a dual layer case with a hard plastic shell on the outside, and then on the inside, you can see it comes out. It is a soft TPU rubber, and they fit together nicely. Your phone goes in. It's super easy to push it in. And then I can look at the 3 things I always want to check with these cases. Number 1, does it have a raised bezel? And the answer is yes, so that if I drop it like that, the impact is taken by the case, not by the glass. A huge piece of protectiveness. Secondly, how about the cutouts? And this one, as with all of these actually, the cutouts are perfect. Companies just nail that now. And then the third one is that wireless charging. So let's see what happens when I try to put the MagSafe charger on the back of this. And it sort of is enough that it goes through that it can hold the magnet there, and it is charging, but it's not strong enough that I can pick the case up by the charger. Now, where that is important is that there are a lot of really cool like car accessories where they're MagSafe charging holders, where you just put your phone there and boom, it's just connected and it's solid and it's strong, and it doesn't have all these like dorky little clamps on the edges. It's just using that magnet. So that's really nice. And this is enough that we are getting that nice charge graphic. I hope you saw that. Let's do that a second time. Let's see. There we go. So it does have a different graphic when you're using MagSafe charging on the iPhone, but it does have that, but it's not strong enough that it actually stays on. So this is the SkinIt Impact case. This design is called Chromatic 02, and I'm going to get to all the prices at the end. So let's just run through these. So that was SkinIt. And I suppose I should show you the packaging as we go too. So SkinIt, I really like. It ships in a thin, easily recyclable cardboard sleeve, which is good. And then the next one is from Society6. This is a Society6 tough case, and this is even better. It comes in this little sleeve. So this is super reusable. It's handy, I guess, in different contexts, but it is such a similar case that it's actually the same case. It has the same product ID on the inside, so one of these companies is making cases for the other one, or they're using the same supplier for the inner part. Whatever the deal is, they're extraordinarily similar cases. So it is a dual layer, hard plastic on the outside, soft TPU rubber on the inside, and you can see that when I put my phone in, that it fits in the same way. It's super easy to work with. It has that same bezel. It has the same protection, that it's not the glass taking the impact. And the cutouts literally look the same because it's basically the same, which means that it should work with this charger. And there we go. I hope you can see that it's got that charging and it's holding on to the charger but it's not enough that it's gonna hold the phone, as we said. So it does work with Qi wireless charging. It does sort of work with MagSafe enough that if you have a MagSafe charger, you can get by and it'll hold it, but it's not really a MagSafe case per se. And you'll see the difference in the very next example. So Society6 Tough Case, this design is called Amber Dusk, and it's from Space Frog Designs Art Studio or Design Studio, whatever it is. I actually really love the design of this one. It's beautiful. It's really nice in person. And what's nice is that both of these have a sort of rounded edge, and you can see they are very similar. The fact that they're from two different vendors is a little bit disconcerting, actually. But next up is Casely. This is the Casely Bold, and this is also two materials, but it's fused into a single piece. So the inside is a very dark blue, and it's a sort of rubbery TPU, and then this outside part is a hard plastic. It's a little bit more squared off, not so rounded, but again, it's super easy to put your phone in, and it gives me a little bit more bezel, which means there's a little bit more protection for my screen, which is always good. The cutouts, they're fine. But what's cool is this is a MagSafe case. That's why you heard that click. And that means I can do this, which means more importantly, that I could use this in my car if I have a MagSafe car mount or something. And just so you can see the graphic, you know, pretty darn easy. So the way they do that is that there's a magnetic coil baked into the case. Now, most vendors, when they do that, they have a graphic on the inside that shows you that. But interestingly, Casely chose not to do that. So this is sort of like a secret power of the case, but that's okay with me because it is actually pretty cool. And then this one, the design, again, I love this design. It's very the style of graphics that I really like. This is Opposites Attract by Mouse House. And that's 3. And now our 4th one is taking a little bit of a left turn. This is Otterbox. I feel like I can't ever do a case review without looking at Otterbox. They're just down the street from me, and they make great cases. This is the Otterbox Otter Plus Pop Symmetry. So it is pretty interesting. It is, again, a dual material case. It's not dual layers necessarily. Slightly bit more snug. It also has a bevel. It's also protecting it, the screen, from impact. But where this one has a secret superpower has a built-in pop socket. So for people that really like their pop sockets, a lot of people I see, they'll do something like this. Then this one's built in, which is super cool. This particular design is called Day Trip Graphic. I like to think of it as, hey dude, there is no Grateful Dead concert tonight. Why are you here? It's kind of a long name for a product. It's antimicrobial too, which is kind of fun. And the downside is because it has that pop socket, it is not at all Qi wireless charging compatible. It just can't get the power through all of that. And that's just what it is. You know, if you really like your pop socket, then that's your trade-off. So you're gonna have to charge this by plugging in a power cord. But if you can live with that, then it's a nice design. It has a beautiful hand feel. It's antimicrobial. It has that pop socket, which gives you, I guess, the ability to do things like this. I'm not a huge fan, but PopSockets, again, was started literally like 2 miles from my office. So hometown company done well, and that's great. And that's our 4th option. So that gives us 4 different choices. But what we need to talk about is we need to talk about price. But hang on, because I forgot to show you packaging. So this is the Casely packaging, highly recyclable. I think it's made out of recycled materials. It certainly feels like it. And then here's Otterbox, which is also recyclable, but it does not feel like it's made out of recycled materials, which I wish it was. I think that we need to be, as a sort of consumers, we need to start thinking about what are we throwing in the landfill and what can we recycle from the products that we're buying. So that's why I'm looking at that. Now, let's look at prices. But before we get to prices, I'm going to ask if you could subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate when you do that. The more subscribers I have, the more leverage I have to get cool gear and tell you the scoop, and that's a good thing. All right, now I'm not going to switch the phone super quickly. So this is the SkinIt Impact Case Chromatic 02 for the iPhone 13 Pro. $34.99 minus 25% current discount, $26.24 at skinit.com. That's one. Number two is the Society6 Tough Case. This is Amber Dusk and it's $39.99 minus 25% right now, making it $29.99 at society6.com. Three is the Casely Bold. This is opposites attract. It's $40 minus 22%, dropping it down to $31.20 at getcasely.com. And then finally, number four is the Otterbox Otter Plus Pop Symmetry. This is by far the most expensive at $59.95, minus $10 on a current promo, drops it down to $49.95 at otterbox.com. Now, of all of these, which one do I actually like the most? Well, you might be able to guess because we saw why. In fact, my winner is the Casely Bold case, partially because it's a great design and super protective with the highest bezel, but mostly because it's MagSafe friendly, and I think that's worth it. So those are my choices. You'll make your own choices. I hope this was helpful. Leave me some feedback, give me some comments, give me a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. That's all I got. I'm gonna let my phone charge, which means I'll hope to catch you in my next video.